Francisco 49ers deep in the heart. Like Joe Montana in the corner, D. Clark. Garrison Hurst, stiff farm going 99.
This is the 49er Faithful UK show, and that was week 3. Victory Mondays continue as the Niners win a bum squeaker courtesy of steady Eddie Piniero's walk-off field goal to beat the Cardinals 16-15. The Niners are one of 6 unbeaten teams and now sit clear atop the NFC West, where we belong. But the win may have come at some cost. I'm Gareth Ellis, and I am joined by Paul Hope.
Dub City, baby!
And Nadgy Carrar.
Hello, everyone.
Good to see you, gents. Good to see you. Let's get the bad news out of the way. You just broke some news 15 minutes before we were recording, Paul. So you're going to have to break it.
Yeah, so
Lee is not here.
Lee is not here, and believe it or
No,
not,
not that
everybody,
bad news.
It's not that. It's that's
believe
actually
it or not, the news about Nick Bosa's season-ending ACL tear, as you've just said, Gareth, broke before we recorded.
Unheard of.
49er Faithful UK are not responsible for this one, so we could have spent 50 minutes talking about it, Gareth. But yeah, sadly, his second ACL tear for Nick Bosa, and he's out for the season. So as you said, last night's victory has come at a huge cost.
Yeah, he was shaping up to be having a good season this year, wasn't he? And it's taken away. It's brutal.
Nadgy raised a good point on the preview pod about Salah using Williams and Bosa together to free up Huff and Winter, and as you were going to allude to later in the show, Nadgy, seeing that NASCAR package and the way they were playing was getting us all excited. So it is a little bit of a kick in the teeth. I mean, we're recording, Gareth. I wanted to be all upbeat and Dub City 3-0.
Yeah.
We've got to get that out of the way.
A bit, kick in the teeth at this stage.
Anyway, let's go and talk about the game, because
should we? This is we don't do that very often. I'm sorry, but this is hot off the press. We don't usually have breaking news. If we're actually live on YouTube, we might be the first one to break the news as content creator.
Are we live?
No, we are not. But we're recording for the podcast. But if we were, I think it doesn't happen very often. Any hot take? I genuinely don't think that's that bad. It's not great, don't get me wrong, don't come at me. I just don't think it's that bad. And also I think it might open a window for us to seek the future, because I think a good example of the career that Nick Bosa is going to have is what his brother is doing, essentially, with a few years older than him. And he faded so fast after so many injuries, just like not quite as bad as Nick, but more niggles and more often injuries. I think he faded so bad, and I'm not saying he doesn't have football in him. I think he'll be one of those guys that'll be around the league for a long time and will contribute here and there, but will just not be nowhere near as good as his first 2, 3, 4 years. Is this a window into, can we maybe get one more year out of him and trade him when he comes back? Or can we look at the future, find something else, release him, get ourselves so much money because that contract is so huge, and rebuild because of it? It's interesting, and I wish we didn't have to talk about it. But I think Nick Bosa, and as much as the pressure rate is amazing, and he's sometimes changing the game, and he did, against the Saints, the Seahawks, the first game, on the last play of the game. I still, to me, for the amount of money that we're paying him, the production is just not enough, and hasn't been for a few years. Since his defensive player of the year.
Kick a man while he's down.
No. I'm not. Again, don't come at me. I genuinely think this is devastating for what we try to do. This is bad. It's really bad news. But I'm just trying to see the positive that can come out of it, because he's not all time JJ White changing the way we play defense. I think if that helps us build a better defense in the future, i.e. save some money and look for alternative way of playing, I think it actually might end up being a good thing, just because we've sunk so much resource into him, and clearly the return on investment isn't quite as good as it should be. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying let's cut him now and get rid of him. It's a huge loss. He's an amazing player, and he's definitely top 1 or 2 or 3 defensive end in this league. It's just, yeah. Is it that bad? Yeah, but maybe not.
Not bad.
I mean, one
Hot
of the
take.
positives I was going to talk about tonight, Nadgy, is the way that Bosa went out. The depth on defence matters, and the defence still played at a high level. And a few people, Gareth, wanted us to spend that cap space we had a few months ago. And John and Kyle have shown that if there's a deal to be done. So I think what you're trying to say, Nadgy, is that given that we're 3-0, ahead of the trade deadline, could we look at getting someone in? I mean, look at Huff. The Eagles are still paying him, and we're reaping the benefits. But like you said, Gareth, it is devastating news. I mean, Bosa's a firm favourite with a faithful. And if there's any organisation that's going to look after him, it'll be ours. But it is the business side of football, which Nadgy's talking about. And it was mentioned in Discord. I've seen a couple of posts on Facebook today. And that is, sadly, the business side of the conversation, Gareth. But yeah, it's devastating for Nick Bosa. So we hope he gets better soon from the UK faithful.
Yeah, definitely. Not much more to add than that. I don't really have much to counter what you've said, Nadgy. I think we talked about it in the off season, how he is being paid to be a perennial defensive player of the year candidate and hasn't been for the last couple of years, even though he was being fit. Hopefully, I mean, this season did look like he might step back to that level.
Yeah.
That's clearly not going to happen, but Paul, you're right. The defense didn't seem to miss a beat, that defensive line with Bosa out, and yeah, it's next man up, isn't it? It's an opportunity, and I think we're probably going to cover some of the people who might get that opportunity when we talk about the game. So I didn't see it. I watched it on Red Zone, and because of the nature of the game, Red Zone actually focused a lot on the other games that were on at the time, and occasionally remembered there was a Cardinals Niners game. So how was this spectacle, this feast of football, to watch firsthand, Paul?
For those people listening and not watching YouTube, you'll have just seen the look on mine and Nadgy's face. I mean, you know me, Gareth, Mr. Positive. I was trying to keep the vibes up in Discord last night, but it was a hard watch. I think for the first half, we had, 7 minutes of offence, and it just didn't seem to be a plan B, as Mr. Gowland likes to mention when he's on the show. But the defence kept the Cardinals to 15 points, Nadgy, and I just felt that there was
and the offence gave them 2 of them.
Yeah,
defense kept them to 13 points.
There was key moments in the game where this time last year we would have lost. I mean, Kyler Murray was running free at times, but when it mattered, Salah seemed to counteract that, and we'll get into specifics. But the game itself,
jumping the gun.
If you were watching on Red Zone, to answer your question, Gareth, yeah, you didn't see a lot of the Niners Cardinals, but Nadgy, the Discord heart rate monitor was definitely broken, wasn't it, buddy?
Oh yeah. It was a tough watch. I'm not gonna lie, it was a tough watch, especially the first half. I think the best way to describe it is a very divisional game. Two teams that know each other really well.
Rock fight.
Pretty banged up with a lot of mistakes, a lot of silly penalties, not a lot of good football on both sides of the ball. So yeah, I think I wouldn't say this is gonna win the Game of the Year award, but it was definitely
Don't speak too soon.
I'm not saying it won't. Let's hope it doesn't, because it was a hard watch. But yeah, up and down, very roller coaster, very 49ers football. But a lot to take on, and we're going to talk about it very, very shortly.
Well, what are your talking points, Paul?
So, some people on the podcast mocked me for daring to mention special teams and a bold prediction.
How dare they?
Special teams is no longer just a support act. It can be a difference maker, Nadgy. There's some good and bad, unfortunately. Slick Rick, wide receiver 1, gets better and better each week, so he was a highlight. So there were a couple that I wanted to talk about tonight, Gareth.
Fantastic. Nadgy?
I'm going to focus on the coaching side of the ball and the front office and the team on a higher level. We need to talk about Saleh. Incredible what he's been bringing to this team, and the fact that this team is just winners. We seem to find ways to win games we would have easily lost a few years back, even last year or the year before, even in good years like 2019. This is the kind of game we would have 100% lost. And we just find ways. And let's talk about that. That's interesting.
Fantastic. Mine were a bit thin. I've just got the D is looking terrifying, but the offense is not running smoothly. Those were the two things I picked up. Let's start. Go on. Let's start with special teams. Let's get it out of the way. Let's start
So
at the end.
it's a bit of a dilemma, isn't it? Because we don't talk about special team. That's kind of what we're supposed to do. But go on then, Paul.
We've
Let's
got
get.
to
We have to. It's part
and
of it.
blame Paul because he picked
And we
it.
can blame Paul.
To be fair, obviously I've got a lot on at the moment, so I've been in and out of the pods, and I missed one recently, and you guys talked about not talking about special teams, and I kept thinking, Gareth, I need to stay true to myself. And obviously after Jake Moody was cut, we brought in Eddie. He missed his first kick with the Niners. But the difference last night when we got that ball back and we were marching up the field, and you knew it was coming down to a last-second field goal. Now, if you'd been watching the earlier Slater games on Red Zone like I had, without any emotion, the amount of blocked field goals was unbelievable. Yeah. You know, the Rams, NFC rival, they got blocked and it was returned for a touchdown. But I didn't have any of those worries last night. And that is a bit of a slant at Jake Moody. But I said at the start, Gareth, there was some bad. Sky Moore, Nadgy, what on earth was he doing? Fair catch on the 5-yard line, which led ultimately to the safety. But then we talk about coaching. A couple of minutes later, he looked like he was going to catch it again, heart in mouth, nearly it bounced into the end zone, and that's what started the final drive. So special teams last year was comical. We couldn't rely on them. But when your offense isn't playing well, when your defense is getting you that ball back, it is nice to have that special team safety net. Or am I wrong, chaps?
No, it is good. Definitely is good. I'm not gonna give them all their flowers straight away, just because it's only been 3 games with Pinheiro, 2 games with Pinheiro. So I'm gonna need a lot more consistency and this happening on a regular basis before I put any kind of trust into that.
You're a hard man, Nadgy.
Oh, come on. We've been burned too many times. Moody was good his first year, and look where we are.
He had that one before half-time as well, Nadgy. What I mean is, Carl Shanahan's obviously been burned by Moody, but they've got
absolutely.
And like you said, maybe it's a lesson learned. Gowland doesn't like using high draft picks on kickers. There's your breaking news.
And
maybe we don't anymore.
The stats, prove him right, I think. Of all the kickers that have been drafted before the 6th round, I don't think any of them is still in the league or has played very long in the league. So it's very interesting a topic for the off season when we come to it. But yeah, I'm happy the way Pinheiro kicks. His mechanics are smooth. I like that it's banged down the middle. It doesn't seem, even the extra point that he missed against the Saints was not far off the upright. Unlike when Moody used to miss, he used to go pretty much to the sideline. So I do have a lot more confidence. And although that kick at the end was gut wrenching to watch and praying very hard that he didn't miss it, that's a good thing. I also really like his kickoff kicking. I think he's a lot more accurate. When he wants to put it in the end zone, he puts it in the end zone. When he wants to kick it short, he kick it short. And a big thing, and I think that's a new rule changing after the safety. I think a few years back, we might have been in trouble because you would have had to punt it. If you kick it, you couldn't, like the return, the way the rules are now, they could have returned it and got a better position and maybe got a field goal out of it. The fact that he managed to kick it and they returned it to the 35 after a safety is pretty huge, because the safety used to be 2 points and then the other teams got the ball on the 50 or on the 40, on your own 45. And then they don't have to drive a lot to basically turn the game over and score 5 points really fast. So I think that really helped us. There's a lot of things that helped us win that game. We'll talk about later. But yeah, it's getting there, and I feel like Sky Moore's settling in as well. The return game is looking a little bit better. We're getting 10, 12, 15 yards at a time. Except the one that he caught, obviously tried to return, which was a bit of a disaster and led to the safety. But Yeah, there's progression, which
He
is
didn't try to return it. He just fair catched it, and I didn't get why he was
yeah,
fair catching it.
yeah.
But I
And
was just
maybe he
meaning as
saw the
well,
bounce,
Ned.
it would have bounced in, and it would have been
Possibly,
worse.
yeah.
So you don't really know, but yeah, we're getting better, which is something that is good.
It
We haven't
wasn't
got
just
better,
the
you know.
field goal kicks either, Gareth. So before we move on, it isn't an hour-long special teams, but the new special teams coordinator's come in. He's cleared the deck. But even
Mm.
the punts, as you were saying, Nadgy, they were
They're a bit
pinning
short.
them down, and it was
Mm,
you're not nervous. Where the last couple of years watching the Niners, when it comes to special teams, like you said, kick returns, punt returns, field position. But when it matters, the gritty, nitty Niners of this year just put, as I said in Discord, Gareth, we weren't worried, were we, Nadgy?
a little bit. I was a little bit worried, but especially after the safety. But yeah, no, it's good. I think showing improvement week after week for a new coach. Again, we took you for granted that special teams should be rolling week one, but just like any other position, a training camp isn't necessarily the best thing to practice special team, even though it's set pieces and it's a lot easier to do. The fact that there is improvement is maybe we'll return a kick for a touchdown this year by week 9 or 10. Let's fingers crossed. Yeah,
That's going to
let's
be a
see.
bold prediction because apparently I have to up my bold prediction game,
Oh, you
people.
do. You
So
definitely do that. I also like the fact that Gerendo seems to be seeing the return duty in the third and fourth, trying to get a bit of fresh leg, a bit of extra juice. This thought behind it, it's better. Again, I would rather not talk about it for this long, but this is good. It's good. It's no, but at least we don't talk about it because we lost because of it, which is much more enjoyable.
No, special teams did what they were asked to do in that game. I think obviously the new kickoff is now into its second season. I think around the league and watching Red Zone, I think slowly returners and special teams coordinators are working out, I think,
How?
how to get
Mm,
the yards on the return.
yeah.
And I think we've seen people do that. I think that's worried me that we're letting people return a few more yards on us. But I think we're doing that as well. And I think most teams around the league are slowly working out the best way to get yards on special teams. And I think it's always that sort of arms race that you've got to work out how to return it before you can then work out how to block that return. So I do think in the league as a whole, we are perhaps moving into a period where we are going to see more games perhaps decided by special teams. How exciting is that going to be? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
move on from that. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
What about Salah? Discuss, Nadgy.
It's just it sends us back to those magical years when Salah was here and it was a bit iffy to start with, and then it was just a wonderful fairy tale. You just know when this defense is on the field that at any point, at any time in the game, no matter where the ball is, even if they're on eight and it's first and goal, something truly wonderful might just happen on the very next play. There is this belief that this defense can stop anywhere, anyone, anywhere, at any time, get a turnover, get a big play, get a big sack that push people out of field goal range, and even if they don't, every yard, every down counts so much. The other team has to work so hard to get anything out of us. It must be absolutely draining to. And I know there's a big drive that scored a touchdown, and that was a bit bad. We can talk about Ronaldo Green not playing his optimal self at the moment. Um, but apart from that drive, in the first half, and I think that's what kept us in the game for they had 3 drive of 10 plus play and came away with 3 points. That is insane to think that a defense can do that and can keep people on the field for this long, get this tired. It's still very early in the season, although we were at home, so we had a bit of advantage on that. And the amount of will that it takes to to do this to a team and what it does to that team when they go and sit on the bench and it's halftime and they've scored 3 points despite having the ball for 28 minutes or whatever, how long they had it. It's insane. And that's just Saleh. The way he plays defense, the way he approaches what we do, and just the energy of everyone on the field, and when they're on the field, the amount of energy and effort that's put into playing is just tenfold of what we've been seeing in the past. And even the Meko Ryans couldn't reach that. I don't remember our defense playing that well under the Meko. So it's just truly amazing to watch. And I'm going to put a baldy right there, right now. We will finish with the number one defense in the league this season by a country mile. It's not even going to be close to what other teams can do. And it's down to Winters.
Given Bosa's injury, that is
Even
bold.
with Bosa's injury, I truly believe we can still reach that. Because most of all, everything goes through Fred Warner. Fred Warner is the heart and soul of that defense. And we've got baby Fred Warner, D. Winters, following his footsteps, not far behind, giving it his 100% to. It's just truly a joy to watch. Of course, sometimes it falls apart a little bit. They're only humans. Ronaldo Green, that big play to Harrison Jr. that led them to score a touchdown was not ideal, but in the whole, it's incredible. They've just basically won us 3 games, and that just would have not happened had they not played at that level. And the level they're playing is it's crazy good. It's crazy good, and we've got rookies all over the place.
And I said,
So we're only going to get better.
Growing pains, isn't there, Nadgy? I mean,
yeah, a little bit.
Stout, they went after Stout, and then after the safety, Gareth, the pivotal moment. You know, Stout steps up. They're about to convert, third and conversion from Arizona, and Salah calls Stout. And like you said, straight away Discord erupts, and we're seeing these rookies grow in confidence. Huff looks like the player Philadelphia paid all that money for. Mikael Williams, you can see now why Salah's gone. That's my boy. Please draft him for me, please. And I think his experience in New York, Nadgy, being a head coach, it hasn't tainted him. If anything, it's given him more of a drive to kind of put this defense together. And as you said, Fred Warner is Superman. D. Winters is making that decision not to throw more money at Dre Greenlaw. And that's not a knock at Greenlaw, who I know has gone on injured reserve. We talk about putting together these pieces. And as you said, Nadgy, Arizona had the ball for 21 minutes in the first half, Gareth.
Yeah, 21, that's it, yeah.
6 points. I mean, we were thinking it was going to be a 9-6 thriller at one point, but I mean, the defense, all gas, no brakes. They're definitely going to be feeling that today, Nadgy. And just before we move on, Gareth, I know Nadgy used to talk about when he played. So I actually dusted off the cleats and gloves at the weekend, Nadgy, in an over 40s Masters tournament. The great British weather, Gareth, absolutely tanked it down in our second game. Our defense stepped up, and watching it from the sideline and watching the coordinator call the plays, it gave me a glimpse as an offensive player thinking, that must feel awesome when you just stood on the sideline and you know the other team aren't scoring. And that's what it was like on Sunday night, wasn't it, Nadgy? I know some people in Discord had the heart rate monitors out, but take away a couple of big plays. Arizona didn't worry me, and like you said, Salah's just going to get better and better. 3 games in, and as Mr. Gowland always says, Gareth, this is just pre-season. So number one defence. Nadgy Carrar said it here first, everybody.
Well, I think to wrap that up, what I saw from the catching up on obviously the highlights and the disjointed red zone feed, what I saw was a defensive line that basically bullied the Cardinals' offensive line. We talked about in the preview how they were a bit banged up on the offensive line. Kyler Murray just found it difficult to do anything. He couldn't find anyone on a deep ball. He was bottled up from doing too much running himself. Yeah, you give away a play here and there. They had a couple of good runs and a couple of good passes. But a good offensive coordinator is always going to find 1 or 2 plays that are successful. But to score points, you need to string those plays together. And it just looks like it was so difficult for their offense to operate, because that's what a good defensive line does. It just makes it difficult for your opponents to do what they're trying to do. And I saw from the highlights, maybe you see this perhaps a bit clearer than actually watching the game, we just seem to have a different alignment all the time on that line. Players are in different positions. Suddenly there's safeties. Are they going to come up and blitz? Suddenly there's cornerback there. Are they going to blitz? Are they going to drop in coverage? There's people all over the place. And I saw, certainly there was the Jair Brown, the safety blitz, where if it's anyone other than Kyler Murray, he's nailing that guy about 2 seconds after the snap. It's only because it was Kyler Murray. But it's still, even then you think, I didn't get the sack. But it just means from the second that ball was snapped, they were not going to be able to run the play they wanted.
Yeah.
All they could
Yeah.
do was Kyler Murray get those 2 yards or what have you. It just makes it very difficult to do your job, and it's entirely down to Salah. And I think I've seen this defense get better measurably in 3 games, and it started off looking pretty good, and it's now looking terrifying.
Yeah.
Happy
And
days.
we came onto this podcast during the review, and I think still rightfully so. We said, look, they have a good offense. They have weapons and talent everywhere, and yet no one could really do anything. I'm just going to shout out to James Conner.
Yeah.
I hope he's okay. That was a gruesome injury.
Yeah,
Not something that you
looking
want to
good, is
see.
it? So
Not something you want to see out of even your worst enemies. That wasn't pretty, so I hope he's recovering well and it's not too bad. I hope he can play football again in the near future. I mean that helped us a lot. He was probably their best player at that point. But yeah, Maverick Harrison Jr. didn't do really anything apart from that big play. Michael
and
Wilson
a
didn't
big
really.
drop.
The
That
big
was
drop helped massively.
They had a couple of bad drops.
Yeah, they had a couple of really bad drops. Wilson really didn't do anything. The big conversion that they almost got onto Zay Jones, Star just ripped it out of his hands somehow. That was an incredible play that Star made on a long third down. But you're right. There's always a different alignment. There's always something going on. The offense has to try and guess what's going on, and the pressure coming for this side, or sometimes everybody drops in his coverage. But even then, when that happens and the defense figures it out and the quarterback has a good play, a good read, makes the throw, the rally to the ball, the punch the ball out, the coverage is good, and the second effort, there's always 2 or 3 guys tackling. It's just really, it's just all around very good. And we're gonna get better. Mustafa's gonna come back, because I do think Pinnock is a bit underwhelming. I do feel like our safeties are
Yeah, I
not as
think
good as it could be.
he's a
He's
backup.
good. He's all right. He's okay. But we could be. Imagine with Mustafa what that defense is going to look like.
Not even scary, Nadgy. We're playing the same scheme, but Salah's
Yeah.
just running it. Fred Warner
Yeah.
came out at the start of the season and said it's the same scheme, but obviously he's brought Gus Bradley back. And like
Yeah.
you said, those big plays are not accidents. We've had 3 games in, and there's been a play in each game by the defense where they've knocked the ball out or they've recovered the ball, or that ball there when it went over the top, Nadgy, and he pulled it in. I thought, oh, and then all of a sudden you saw the ball rolling on the floor and the defenders celebrated, and you're like, that's amazing.
Yeah, so good, so very good. Yeah, massive shout out to I think Upton Stars has been tremendous, so very good to us. He's gonna forget K1 Williams and all those kind of guys. Lenore is basically an island. They just dare. No one dares to throw his way because he basically allows a yard per game at this rate, which is really annoying because I would like him to make some plays. But he'll find a way, just like Richard Sherman used to. And yeah, Ronaldo Green is very sophomore slumpy at the moment. I think he's still getting better and has a few mistakes here and there sometimes. I'm very happy with Jair Brown. I thought he kind of was fading away, but he's been given the chance to play and he's looked really good. Solid tackling. That play you were mentioning about is chasing Kyler Murray around is really good. That's kind of the thing you want to see out of him. And then yeah, that's a couple of shout outs that I had. I mean, obviously Fred, my God, what a joy to watch this guy play. And I think he's just beat Patrick Willis for number of pass defended.
Yeah,
And I think he's leading the NFL, the 49ers linebacker in number of pass defended. So he's already has a legendary status among the franchise. And he's probably going to play so many more years. So
and get better.
And get better.
The only thing I wanted
Such a joy.
The only thing I wanted to say, Gareth, before we moved off, the Kyler Murray running around, what people have to remember, the rules with quarterbacks. And Nadgy mentioned this well in Discord. Mac Jones gets hit. Those flags aren't coming. There was a couple of times, Nadgy, when Kyler was out and they were closed down and there was a split second where they were thinking, I can't hit him here. And, they played on that, as you said, Gareth, but they didn't put it together, and it wasn't the Kyler Murray of old, which would have run around all over us. So in that context,
no, I mean he played well, I thought, but can't do it by himself, unfortunately. Fortunately for us, I guess.
Yeah.
Terrifying on defense. Slicky Ricky.
Oh yes, Slick Rick, almost 190. God, so close.
I was going to say, I listened to the pod chaps and I got a bit of slander, but Nadgy went bald with 190 yards. So Slick Rick only got 117 yards. And I say that very
70,
loosely.
70
Only
yards away.
117.
So close.
Eight receptions off 11 targets. But anybody who wants to play American football as a wide receiver, go get some game tape and watch how this lad runs his routes, how he prepares. I mean, we're going to talk about that 4th and 2 call. I mean, it's just a simple go route, Gareth. I can't believe we called it. 40-yard bomb. I said in my bold predictions we were going to have 2. So, Nadgy, Rick let you down for a few yards. Carl let me down for only calling 1. But that just typifies where the Niners are on offense this year. And his hands. That ball wasn't an easy ball to pull in. And
hit him in the head first, which makes it even harder to catch, which is insane.
And then keeping it on the ground. But what's quite interesting when I've looked at the stats, he's the first 49er since 2006 with 100-plus yards receiving in 2 of the first 3 games. And we were a bit worried without Ayuk, without Kittle, without Juice. And Slick Rick is showing this is why you draft a receiver in the first round. And he's only going to get better and better for me, Gareth. But anything else that you want to chip on? I mean, I've got more stats that I can sugarcoat in there. Through his 3 games, he's had 16 receptions. 14 of them have gone for first downs. So, Kev, if you're watching, I might have to have some bold predictions with Rick in the next game because the chaps have set me some targets, which we'll get onto later. But I think he might be a few number 1 jerseys getting bought. If these performances continue.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't change his number again next year. Sorry for everyone that bought a 14 jersey. Yeah, no, it's really impressive as well because with JJ now playing, there's basically no one else to cover on this team. And I know Kendrick Bourne played pretty well and still a wide receiver that plays in the NFL, so it needs to be covered. But, if you don't have to worry about George Kittle and you don't have to worry about Jawan Jennings and Brandon Ayuk all on the field at the same time, it makes it a lot easier for a defense to double team your best receiver. And they did it quite a few times. And yeah, he still got 8 targets for 117 yards. That's 8 catch for 117 yards. It's not easy to do when you're the true number 1 and the defense knows, the defensive coordinator knows, people in the stand knows the ball is probably in front of you at least 10 times this game to actually deliver. And I think that's something that Debo couldn't do, and probably one of the reasons we shipped him out of town is every time it was just Debo, defense had him figured out and he just couldn't get open. Well, not Slick Rick. He just gets open. And those hands. And that 4th and 2 catch was incredible. And as I said, he just hit him in the face before he hit him in his hand, which makes it even harder to catch. But he had a really beautiful catch on I can't remember, away from his body, kind of a mic through behind him, and he just went and grabbed it, and the ball just stuck to his finger.
The zip tip.
Yeah, that's just what you want out of your wide receiver. Guy that can just catch a ball in any position at any time. And the confidence in kind of throwing him the ball. And Mac Jones, who's only second game starting for us. So not a ton of synergy and chemistry. It's just when Brock is back and there's all the weapons that people are going to have to cover, he's only going to have better games. And he's only still learning the position too at this level. So, kudos all around. And this touches on also what I was saying about Bosa. So you have players playing like this. It makes the coaches in the front office in a very difficult position of who do we keep and how do we pay these people? And is it time to move on from Ayuk? Is it time to move on from somebody else? And this is the situation you want to be in. You want to have superstars everywhere and people competing for their job and making everybody better. It's perfect. Thank you, Rick. And I look forward to some proper bold prediction next week.
Do you know what made his catches even better, Nadgy? All 8 of them came with a defender within 3 yards. And when I've been deep diving,
3 yards a lot.
he leads all the receivers in the NFL with 267 receiving yards in these contested situations. And I know 3 yards doesn't seem a lot, but you mentioned there was times where Debo would get the ball and it would be a drop. Look at Marvin Harrison yesterday; he appeared to be wide open. But in this offense, the receivers have to be perfect on their routes because there's a lot of anticipation from the quarterbacks. That's why he's got a good relationship with Brock. And like you've said, Nadgy, just go watch the game tape. His route is absolutely beautiful, and his
he's
hands
very smooth. it's very nice to watch him play football. It definitely is a good tape teaching moment for young wide receivers out there. Yeah, go and watch him. It's good stuff.
I don't think I can add anything to what you've said about Ricky.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's good. Very, very happy with his performance. I'm going to pick one of mine now, which isn't so good. I've been trying to diagnose why our run game isn't going. I put it on the preview that we were going to try and establish that. We still seem unable to do so.
I would tend to disagree.
Well, we're only churning like 3.3 yards a carry and stuff. That's not the Shanahan offense we've been used to. My simplistic diagnosis is we're really missing Kittle and we're missing JJ. We're missing the blocking at the second level. I had thought it was mostly the O line, but I think the O line is establishing the gaps. We're just not getting those blocks in at the next level, and I think it's how important Kittle is, how important Jennings is, and what I think what raised this to me was a couple of the times where we did burst CMC and Robinson out. We had blocks. I think there was one with Kendrick Bourne. I think one of them might have even been Sky Moore. That we were getting the blocks at the next level, and suddenly we were sprung. Can you add anything more? Do you want to counter that? Do you think that's why we're not running the ball as well as we should be?
I would tend to disagree. I think we are running the ball just fine. And we'll also agree it's not exactly maybe what we want to see, the 200-yard performance and breaking a big one for a touchdown. CMC is running 3.1 yards per carry on the last game. You do that 3 times, you're on 4th and 1, you go for it pretty much every time. That's definitely good enough to get an offense churning. I think there's definitely a lot of plays where we seem to be stuffed in the backfield. So it's kind of either all or nothing, it would seem. In terms of we don't really get 2 yards. It's either we get 3, 4, 5 yards, or we get -2. There's no in between. But we have seen this game, which we hadn't seen the previous 2, a couple of bigger ones. As I called, I think during the preview, I wanted Robinson to break one. He did with an almost 20-yard run. CMC got a 15-yard run, and he got a couple of huge conversion on second down and first down, some first down runs. So it is happening. And I do agree. I think missing Kittle and JJ is absolutely huge. Missing Ayuk and Debo is absolutely huge. Massive blockers. If there's something that all these 4 players have in common and that we are missing now that they're not there, is that they can block people and they will make linebackers and safety miss, tackle, or go around, and which makes a 5 yards into a 12 or a 15. So I agree that that's not quite what we do. But I'm going to say it again. And I think I've been saying this for a few years. We're not a run team anymore. We've got Brock Purdy. We are a passing team. We passed the ball 41 times against the Cardinals in a game that was really close, where we went on top and we could have just tried and run the ball and keep it away. We 41 times and we only ran the ball 20 times. So we are a passing team. That's this
even with Mac Jones.
Even with Mac Jones, because we're not changing the offense just because Mac Jones is in. But this old Jimmy G run first, so then we can play action into passing doesn't exist anymore. This is just give the ball to Brock and let him cook. Let him pass the ball to Ricky and to George and to CMC and all that stuff. So I think it's going to take some time for people to get used to that. Because, as I said, it's so much nicer to have a team that can run the ball. It makes things a lot easier. But it's not who we are. And
I think we're passing the ball because we're not getting that yardage on first down, where
I don't think
we've got those opportunities. We're passing the ball a lot more because we're in 3rd and long.
I tend to agree with Nadgy.
I mean,
I don't
obviously,
think we're a running team anymore. I
don't think we are. I think we're a passing team. I think I'd love to, and I will do for the next preview. I'm going to see our percentage of run pass play on first down and see what the percentage is. But it wouldn't surprise me if we're on like 55% passing on first down.
But it opens the door to CMC with that and that final drive. It looks like it's going to be a pass play, dumps it off in a screen. And CMC, like you said, I thought he was going for a touchdown. Not going to lie,
Yeah,
try to
it's
be
so
quiet with
close. It
people
was
in the
close. It
house.
was close.
It was close, but I mean,
Randall,
someone asked in
Randall,
the group, Gareth, Rob Molnar put a post in the group earlier. CMC has 77 touches so far this season, the highest in the NFL. The 49er franchise record after 3 games. Is this too much? But it's not like he's ran the ball 77 times, as Nadgy said there. It's a combination, and at the moment with the injuries, and you just mentioned about those receivers blocking. A big strength of Ayuk's game wasn't just his elite traits as a receiver, it was in the run game. You've took Kittle off one side, Ayuk off the other side. Trent Williams isn't himself. The offensive line hasn't been perfect, yet we're still churning out wins. And I share Nadgy's confidence. I'm glad Nadgy answered this question, because as a running back, I could see him thinking, I disagree, Mr. Ellis. 3.1 yards per carry. I'll take that all day long.
That leads us nicely into wins. You can wrap it up, Nadgy. Being a winner.
Yeah. And I hope you guys agree and see it too, and I hope everyone agrees. But there's an air about all the players on the team and the way the demeanor of the team is, even down 3 and this horrible first half, and then getting the safety and only 3 minutes on the clock. There was almost no doubt that we were going to march down and at least maybe a long field goal, but at least try a field goal. There was no doubt that that wasn't going to happen. And the fact, I think a good example is Mac Jones hobbling around and on almost one leg for, I don't know what happened to him exactly. I got his knee, maybe it was a stinger or something, or a dead leg or something. But he looked like he was done for the day almost. He just couldn't plant, he couldn't really run sideways anyway. All the stretch play to McCaffrey on the goal line didn't work because he couldn't stretch it, which is what you need to do on the stretch play. But the way we're tackling the ball on defense and we're rallying to the ball, and the way that Jack Tonjes all of a sudden in the fourth quarter gets 2 catches. I think we're gonna have to start calling him Mr. Fourth Quarter, because
I
it
like
gets
that.
2 first down completion in the fourth, is wide open, is good catches, secure the ball. There's no mistake being made, and if we take away the completely silly hold on Calais Campbell. Big shout out to Calais Campbell, which after 18 years in the league is still producing a.
After that ribbon from Gowland as well, Nadgy.
I think somebody told him, and he just got very angry about it. But wow, that was impressive to say the least. But even though all of this is happening, and kind of the football gods are looking down on us and going, "You go and try and win this one because we're making it difficult for you." Well, the team goes, "Bring it on! That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go and win this game." And Pinheiro, I have no doubt, the demeanor when he walks on the field, he knows he's gonna make it. When Moody used to walk on the field, you're like, "Oh my God, he's already in his head, and it's not gonna work, is it?" There's just something about the team, and that's 3 completely different wins, completely different way of winning. The defense kept us in it, but last drive and a few touchdowns, and we take the lead and we keep it. And against the Seahawks, we just managed to pin them down and win the game by scoring more than they did. It's just 3 very different way of winning games, and that's really really good for playoff football, because it's hard to win games, and you always have to find a way on an edge. And it feels like this team's getting there. I don't want to get too excited, but
Yes, you
I just,
do.
I,
Yes,
you
you
guys agree?
do.
I do.
Yeah, this
Do you guys
locker
see
room
it, or is it
special.
just me and
No,
my?
no.
Yeah,
I feel it, Nadgy. This locker room special. I mean,
yeah.
3:15 remaining. The Cardinals take a lead on the safety. And a few people in Discord started to lose faith. But like Nadgy said there, we get the ball back, 1:46 on the clock. There was no doubt in my mind, Nadgy, that we were marching up that field. And like you said, Mac Jones hobbling on one leg. And it was just methodical. It was just kind of written that it was going to be a special teams moment. But Campbell had the second best performance for 45-year-olds playing American football this weekend. Stole my thunder, so thanks for that, Gowland. Listening to that show, I thought, Jesus Christ, I didn't know Lee hated him so much. But no, I'm getting excited, Gareth. I mean, Nadgy set a challenge on the last show to get me to pick dirty points. The way this team's playing, Nadgy, it isn't
Yeah, it's
happening.
going to be
You've
difficult.
lost that
Yeah,
challenge.
for sure. Yeah, that's going to be hard work. But do you see, Gareth? I know you didn't watch the game fully, but uh,
I
do you
think
have
it's
that aura? There's an aura about the team that feels like they could just win any
It
game.
is, yeah. Winning creates winners, and
Yeah.
winners creates winning, doesn't it? So if you're the team that's got that belief, we've seen other teams in the NFL carried by that belief. That the Chiefs have it to a certain extent. The Eagles have certainly had it. That
Yeah.
that refusal to be beaten.
Yeah.
And I think
That's a
we've
good way
got
to
that.
put it, actually.
That's a good sign. I was pleased to see that it's for everything that the defense might have won us the game, but at the end, the offense needed to get the yards, and they did so. In the previous two wins, I think our offense has had the ball back with kind of 3 to 4 minutes left, and they
Mhm.
haven't been able to get those first downs and eke out the clock each time. We've relied on our defense coming onto the field and our defense stopping our opponents getting back into the game. It was good to see the offense at this time take the field in that trailing position and get down the field and get the points that are needed off the boot. Special teams, fair enough, but the offense had to do that. And with a banged up Mac Jones tied at the end of a game, excellent performance.
We've
You
virtually
can't
no
ask for
wide
more from
receiver.
QB2, can you? So.
Yeah, we virtually no starting wide receiver apart from Ricky, and it's just the previous two drive. One of them was a safety. The one before that was the pick, and he comes on and he just balls and he just throws dimes and CMC breaks a couple. It was just there was just I think it's a good way of putting it. It's just refusal of being beaten. It's not something you can teach. It's something you have and is embedded in culture. And I think the Saleh is definitely hammed that a little bit. I'm not saying it wasn't there before, but it's palpable now. You can feel it,
We've got a young defense, and I
and
think
we have a
that's
young defense.
and the defense is growing because it's
Yeah.
full of
Do you not
rookies.
think Carl Shanahan gets a bit of credit here? Because a few
Oh
years
yeah,
ago,
don't we?
100%.
we were talking about him
He's the head
involvement
coach.
into the
Yeah,
head coach, but he's brought Salah in. I mean, there's
yeah.
a little known podcast, Gareth, the Pat McAfee Show. You might have heard of it.
Mm,
Might have one or two
Mm,
viewers.
one of the amateur
He,
ones.
yeah,
that's
he
yeah.
tweeted out at midnight last night, are the 49ers inevitable this year? So we've got people already talking the potential, the fact that we're winning games that we shouldn't. But yes, Nadgy, very excited about this team.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3-0 in another season we could be 0-3, and
Yeah.
But we've got
and
more
we're not.
divisional wins this year already than
Then
we did last year.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
And
Exactly.
it's a 1 point difference. You know the margin that swung it, wearing the white throwbacks, not wearing red in the heat.
That's it.
That's
That's
it.
it. The Heat.
That's
Well
it.
played.
That's it. We'll do. We've covered a lot of them, but quick shout out for player watches. Paul, your boy, very good game. He's looking the part, isn't he?
Yeah, I think you might have frozen.
Okay.
Maybe it's frozen with me. But
Nadgy, your lad, how's he doing?
but Nick Martin doesn't play. I think he's still learning the ropes, and
You're gonna have to pick someone.
I'm gonna have to pick somebody else. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick somebody else. I will think about it and pick somebody for the next preview, and then we can go there.
Mikael Williams then.
Yeah, I could do
Briefly?
Michael. Yeah,
Since
very
Paul,
good.
oh, he's gone now. I was gonna
He's
say,
gone out. Yeah.
Paul was glaring at us in his frozen internet screen.
Yeah. Michael Williams is again. He's getting better. This is exactly. I said this year after year after year. You want your rookie to get better game after game, and that's exactly what he's doing, and he's having an impact. He's gonna have to do a lot more now that Boss has gone, but I have all the confidence that he can. He's looked good. He's looked very good. What about you? You got Upton Stout? No, who you got? Who you got? Can't remember now.
A gentleman by the name of D. Winters.
That's it.
Who
Tell me.
we don't really need to keep talking about because
No,
he is just
incredible performance.
awesome.
He's awesome.
Good pass break up in the end zone.
Yeah, that was actually
He might
maybe
not have brought it down in bounds anyway, but Winters
no, but
made sure he wasn't.
that was incredibly well played by him because he bit on the in route and he got beat pretty badly. That should have been a touchdown 100% of the time, but he recovered really fast, didn't PI, turned his head, put his hand where it needed to be. That was very impressive for third year player, a linebacker in coverage essentially. So yeah, very impressed. Does anybody have Upton Stout? Because I might just take Stout.
Yeah, Lee has got up to
Lee's got
stout.
Stout. Of course he
Yeah.
does. Of course he does. Again, I think pretty impressive performance. I've mentioned the pass breakdown. I'm pretty sure it was a third down. It might have been a fourth down.
No, I think
Uh,
I think I know the one, and it stifled any chance the Cardinals had to kind of see out
yeah,
the
yeah.
game.
Kind of broke their will too because he had it and then he didn't. It was kind of there. Yeah. So yeah,
You
no,
can
very
you can
impressive.
see what the coaches talked about when they talked about the dog in Upton Stout.
Mm,
Yeah, and
absolutely,
you can see it, and they
absolutely.
just went, yeah. Everything else you can learn, if you've got that about you, you're going to be okay. And I think we're
Yeah,
seeing it.
yeah.
And yeah,
That's
he's had a tough entrance to the NFL, but
mm,
this is what life in the NFL is like.
yeah,
He has stood up to it. That's what's impressed me most. The odd mistake here and there, he's a rookie. There's a reason we call them rookie mistakes. Don't
that's
mind
right.
that at all. What I
Quarters back.
see is the fight in the guy and that unwillingness to give up, and yeah, that
Yeah, yeah,
refusal
yeah, yeah.
to be beaten. Paul, we've just talked about your lad, Mikael Williams. Do you want to add
Oh,
anything?
Briefly.
no,
Tell us what
no.
you
Briefly,
saw. No.
yeah.
Tell us what you saw because you looked at his game in more details than we did. So
I
go
was
for it.
worried when he went off with the injury, and it just
True.
goes to show, it was not long after Bosa, he goes into the blue tent, wrist injury. Nadgy had a very different diagnosis on Discord, which made me chuckle. Something about getting a shot and then seeing him come back out there
Yeah. After dark, it's too early to talk about
after dark.
it.
But he's just showing why he was drafted. He's a Robert
Mhm.
Saleh kind of player. He's shown his awareness. As you said, Nadji, he's been moved around as well. He isn't just an edge rusher on the end. And he seems to get better on every play. His understanding is kind of what he needs to do. And he's just going to get better and better. It's hard to believe it's only his third game and he didn't play any in pre-season. So I'm sure you chaps have covered it better. Sorry, internet went off, as you can see. This
All
isn't
good.
my usual setup, but I'm back. Can't get rid of me that easily, Gowland.
Oh, good. We got you. So yeah, I'm gonna need to pick another player. I mean, if you guys got any suggestions, I'll take it. I was thinking maybe I could take. I don't know. Should I take Juice? We don't talk about Juice enough. Maybe I should take Juice because I do love the man.
Yeah, Nick Martin seems strange because I thought he was a
Yeah, it's
Salah
just.
pick, but he's
I
just.
Yeah.
think he was suited this week. But it's just we just don't need him. We don't need a weak linebacker that can't play special team, which is what Nick Martin is, and he'll get his chance eventually. Hopefully, he can take it.
He's
But
hardly a breakout sort of player though, Juice. But take your pick
true,
if you want to talk
true.
about him. Give it a
Just
think. I think there's some options there on the defensive side of the ball.
well, I really. Oh, do you know what? Forget about everything. I know who I'm going to pick because we've got defensive players. I've been looking at the offense, and I think we need to talk about that side of the ball. I'm going to pick Jake Tonjes, and I'm going to that's going to be
Good
my
choice there.
watch player.
Good choice. Good choice.
I have been enamored with the way he's been playing, and I will hereby declare that Club 88 is a thing. So if anybody wants to join me in Club 88, and Jake Tonjes, I mean, he won us a game. That touchdown against Seattle was pretty impressive.
Just to
When you do
clarify,
some
it's not for Gowland's speeding ticket. It's a new Club 88.
No, it's a new club. That's no, yeah, that's right. It's a new club, tight end thing. Club 88, Jack Sanchez. But usually when you do something good in Seattle, we can all remember the Draglino tackle in the last game of the season. Maybe this play might be huge by the time it's all said and done, and getting that win, week one. So yeah, Jack Tonjes. That'll be my player watch.
Speaking of huge, is your lead on top of the score
Oh,
predictions table grown this week, Nadji?
yeah, I don't think it has grown. I think it stayed largely the same, considering we scored all the same points. And let me add this to the stage for the people that
Was
watch
that
on
2?
YouTube. Yeah, we all got 2 points essentially. The few people on Discord, I must say, quick reminder: if you're going to play, I know not everybody listens to this, but if you are listening to this and you're playing in a prediction league, please try and put the same name every week. It makes Kev's life a lot easier. He doesn't have to do some copy pasting and mathing and figure out if the two people that have put different name are actually the same people. do some investigating or things like that. So please try and put the same name. But we did. Let me try and find out. Somebody did score 7 points this week, which I think is by far the largest. I think most people score 4 if they were within 2, but somebody actually nailed on the Cardinals score with the 15. So Mark Winder, congratulations, you are this week's winner.
I can only
7 points.
imagine Mark sitting there at 13 points thinking, oh, well, I'm never going to nail the 15 now, am I? And
Yeah,
then just,
true.
safety.
Yeah, very true, very true. I also, unfortunately, I have to do this, and
No.
you've only brought it on yourself, people. But I have to dish out some shame. Martin Hughes and Simon Smith. Shame on you, people, for calling some dirty points here. Only 2, which I think is pretty good. But yeah, shame on you. Predict a Cardinals win. It was very close for a long time. I'll give you that. And as I said on Discord, I don't think we had any business winning this game, apart from us being us. But yeah, so we all scored 2 points. The table looks like so for the people on the YouTube. It's right there. I'm at the top. I'm actually at the top of the entire table. I'm leading the 66th entry that we had. 66 people are playing this game. This is crazy.
That is great.
We should charge people. We make money. Anyway, never. We won't do that. It's all fun. It's all for fun. Yeah, I'm leading everyone with 16 points. Not far. I think Dave is close behind me. Dave Bedbridge. Let me find out exactly. There's the table. No, here's the table. Yeah, he's at 15 points, 1 point behind me, and then Graham Ray third on the podium with 14 points. So it's all very close. It's all very close. I really like that we changed the rules for 2 points for the winner. Keeps everything condensed, keeps everything competitive. I have a feeling I'm going to lose my top spot in the very next week. But I'm leading with 16.
But not to Lee.
Not to Lee, that's for sure. Who's closing in with 6 points, basically just predicting winners. Oh no, because he went dirty for the week 1, didn't he? So not even
He did.
that.
He did.
What do you say, Nadgy, to Lee? You have to predict better, I think.
Yeah, that's the saying. That's the motto of this league. Just predict better. That's what you gotta do. But yeah, Gareth second with 11. Second with the Pod Faithful. That's the median of everyone else with 11, and then Paul with 8. So not far behind, and then Lee 10 points behind me. 10 whole points. So something drastic would have happened if Lee would jump me next week. So
he needs to predict better, otherwise he's going to be adrift in the relegation spots there. So
and a shout out
a situation he knows well
at this point. So there was a VAR decision in the admin only Discord earlier. Kev had found an anomaly in the spreadsheet.
Oh, yeah.
Given
That's
Nadgy an extra 5 points. So Kev, he is unbiased. He is managing this. Now, someone in the admin group may have asked, did this only affect Gowland? And I'm not mentioning any names about that. And if that was the case, we needed a full look into it. But no, all jokes aside, Kev does a sterling job with the spreadsheet. And just to show that when he's adding these bonus points in, he is checking it as well. So just wanted to say
it is
getting...
the whole thing's getting better and better. We've added a feature where you enter your email address, which we do not keep on record. Google does that already for you. So if you have a problem with that, talk to them, not to us. But yeah, for GDPR reasons, we obviously do not keep any of that and we don't use it. But you enter your email address and you get an email with your prediction, so you know you've actually entered the prediction. Because we used to have loads of people messaging on Sunday morning. Did I do it? I can't remember. I can't remember if I did it or not. And then Kev would have to go through the sheet to try and find people, which is more work for him. So now we've added this feature. You can just check your email whether you've done or not, and that's totally cool. It's fine. It's great. But yeah, join us. It's fun. This is fun. We forgot to mention the bonus, which was two third down. I always said it earlier, and I don't think anyone got that. Also mentioning, sorry, but when a category is chosen by the wheel, that category goes away. So we won't have punts anymore. We won't have third down conversions.
Good call.
And whatever was the first one that we did, I can't remember, but that will not show back again. So that's why Kev was
QB hits, was it? QB
hits. That was it. So we won't get those stats anymore. And that's why Kev was so adamant to try and find exactly 17.
I have one for Kev. How many? That's what she said in Discord.
Oh my god.
That gets used a hell of a lot, so that could be a good bonus one to throw in.
Could very well.
After dark. Nadgy disappeared first, Gareth, yesterday. I was having to fend all these people off on my own, and then Nadgy appeared. But it was very good humoured. But no, I'm sure there'll be some weird and wonderful ones, Nadgy, towards the end of the season.
Anyway, let us wrap this up. I think that's this game done. There is watch party. We know something about the watch party, don't we? We know the date. We know the city. Can we add anything more? I know it's fairly late notice, but we are a little bit stuck there, aren't we?
I just want to say, in Lee's defence, we have been meeting with the Niners for a long time. Lee has asked for a minimum of 6 to 8 weeks' notice, but some things are out of our hands. When you were doing,
weeks is the number we give them. We said, "Can we please have it 8 weeks in advance?" Clearly, that's not gone through very well to people yet.
And Lee was teasing the news out in the live. You did a great job of that, Nadgy, putting up with Lee, teasing the news out. But all we can say at the moment is it's in London. It's on October the 12th. If you're unsure of which hotel to book, Lee is booked at the Travelodge Central Bank. Make of that what you want about where the venue will be. But as soon as we know anything else, we will let you know. And for those people who can't go to London, like myself, there is a watch party in Leeds for the Texans game. And we always encourage people to make their own. Gareth, I think there was a member down in Plymouth today who's put a post in the group going to try and arrange something. So if you can't make the official one, we do urge you to kind of do some local meetups. But yes, there's no news to report, and I've dragged that out far longer than I needed to. So sorry.
Yeah, London on the 12 Bucks game. Just get down when you. I just plan to get down. Tickets will be released hopefully as soon as possible. We'll give you all that. There's one in Leeds. Connor Jones was saying he's probably going to do one maybe in Exeter. He's from the southwest. They're trying to figure out that. But yeah, if you're anywhere you are in the UK, in the east, in the west, in the south, in the north, and yes, everyone, the north starts. Definitely, Manchester is the north.
Don't look at Discord. That conversation's going on right now.
This conversation, and yes, you can only find good Palmos in the northeast. That is a given. But yeah, no. If you have anything, just Northern Ireland, Scotland, anywhere. Just if you want to organize something, go on Discord, go on Facebook, say, hey, I want to go to this pub, or I want to go here and watch a game. And it might just be 2 of you, as I said last week, maybe 12, maybe 20. This is how we started. And how many people did we have at the Super Bowl party last year?
We filled the conference center.
Filled the conference. I can't remember how many. It was a lot. Lee would know. It was definitely.
It was over 300. I would have thought.
I was going to say it was north of 300, and it was insane. Anyway. But we started by, watching 3 or 4 people in a bar with Niners jersey on and nothing else. And now we've got Sourdough Sam coming down and alumni and giveaways and watching party and all that. And it's all great. It's all amazing. But yeah, don't be afraid to do a small one, because that's what it's all about ultimately. And it's a ton of fun.
It is indeed a ton of fun. Thank you, gentlemen. I think we shall put this one to bed. Thanks to everyone who listens and watches the show. Like, subscribe, and all that sort of stuff. And join Discord, because it's wonderful. We will be back later in the week to look ahead to the Week 4 matchup as the Jacksonville Jaguars make the long trip west to Levi's. Enjoy another victory week. Go Niners!
Victory Monday!
We love the San Francisco 49ers deep in the heart. Like Joe Montana in the corner, D. Clark. Gareth and Hurst, stiff farm going 99.